Hey everybody, welcome back to Jaywalking, trusting God one step at a time. I'm Jennifer J, and I'm really glad you're joining me again today. So something I wanted to talk to you about today is gifts. So it's getting to be the holiday season. We're coming up on Thanksgiving. Actually, yeah, you'll see this before Thanksgiving, just making sure. And Christmas shopping is underway. So many people have their Black Friday sales out already. Now, if you're not in the North American countries, you might not have Black Friday where you live, but here they have stores that start having sales and trying to get people to buy, right? Everything's about buying stuff. So there's a few things that I want to share with you about that, and that is in 2 Corinthians, no, I apologize, 1 Corinthians chapters 11 through 14. I'm not going to read all that to you today. That's your homework, to go read 1 Corinthians chapters 11 through 14. But Paul is he's talking to the Corinthians, and he's talking about gifts. So I want you to imagine for a minute, when we're talking about the gift of salvation, for instance, imagine that someone gives you a gift, whether it's a birthday gift, housewarming gift, a Christmas gift, whatever. They bring you a gift. It's brightly packaged. It's got beautiful ribbons and bows and paper, and they have purchased this gift for you, and they present it to you. Now imagine that you take that gift and you say thank you very much, and you set it aside and you don't open it. Some people do that at Christmas or birthdays. If it's not Christmas or their birthday yet, they save it for that day. But imagine you're just putting it away. It is your actual birthday. You've received a gift on your birthday, and you say thank you, and you set it aside. And you visit with them maybe for a while, and then they leave and they say goodbye, and they're wondering why you haven't opened their gift. And you take the gift off the counter and you put it in the closet, and you don't open it. Your friend calls you in a couple of weeks and they ask you, have you opened the gift? Did you like it? Oh no, you say, I didn't open it yet. It's in the closet. I'll get to it. Most of us probably wouldn't do that, would we? I get excited when I get a gift. I want to open it right away. I do like to save it for my actual birthday though. If it's a birthday gift, I like to save it, or Christmas, I prefer to save it for that actual day. But otherwise, I want to open it. So most of us wouldn't take a gift and just hide it in the closet and not pay attention to it ever. And that is what we are doing though, when God has given us the gift of salvation and we are not willing to accept his gift. So it's free. He paid the price. He died on the cross for us and rose from the dead, conquering death, so that we could be saved. All we have to do, we don't have to be punished for our sins. We can simply claim Christ and say, I want to live for Christ, and accept his gift of salvation. And we will be saved. We just have to confess with our mouth and believe in our heart. And that's accepting the gift that Christ gave to us. And so I hope that you'll do that today if you haven't done that before. If you've done it before, you don't need to do it again, obviously. But I will say that for the sake of new Christians who may not know. And so that's one gift that many of us ignore, but we have other gifts. So God tells us that we're each given a spiritual gift. Once we are saved, we've accepted his gift of salvation. That makes us saved. Some people call it born again, because we're born of the Spirit. And so then we are given a spiritual gift, and we are all given a spiritual gift, and we don't use our spiritual gift. So I have the spiritual gift of encouragement, and what if I never used that? Now, I do use my gift, but what if I didn't? What if I said, and I know people like this actually, they do have the gift of encouragement because I've heard them, but they choose not to because they're shy, they get embarrassed, they're afraid they'll say something wrong or misstep somehow. So rather than use it, they keep it to themselves. And that doesn't edify the church. So with mine, I try to encourage my friends, and I pray for them and others, whether it's on social media or other platforms where people are following me. I'll sometimes just ask for prayer requests. I'll pray for you. And then also with volunteering. So I encourage by working at the food pantry. I encourage the people I encounter there, whether they're other workers or whether they're people coming to receive food. I keep a smile on my face, I stay upbeat, and I try to encourage people that way. And then also I help at a group home. So foster kids that are living in a group home, they don't even have a foster home to have that family environment. They're living in a group home with lots of other teenage girls their age. And they do have a house mother, and that's awesome, but it's a different feel than being in a home with a family. And so I go twice a month and try to do fun things with them and hang out with them and encourage them. And, you know, we have these gifts. And I don't say that to say, oh, look at me, I'm so great. I'm saying that to say you have a gift too, and you need to use it. If you're not using it, it's not helping anyone. So God tells us to use these gifts. So this is what was in my Daily Walk Bible. You guys know I like to use my Daily Walk Bible. I try to get the glare off of it there, my Daily Walk. It's New International Version, and it says on November 20th, it said, God's gift to you is often God's gift to others through you. God's gift to you is often God's gift to others through you. So he gave me the gift of encouragement, and he wants me to encourage others. And I don't know what gift he gave you, but I want to encourage you to use it to edify others in the church, and even those that aren't in the church. You know, you come across people all the time that are not saved, but you can still use that gift that he gave you. So, excuse me, some gifts are wonder-working faith. If you have the gift of faith, praise God. I'm so glad that he has also gifted me with faith. Then he wants you to be obedient. Use that faith. Show others by your faith how awesome it is to be obedient and be faithful and trust in the Lord with all your heart. And then if he's given you the gift of patience or of prophecy or whatever gift he's given you, use that to help other people. Edify the body. We're all members of the body, right? Just like we all have in our physical body, you know, eyes, ears, nose, body, hands, feet. We all have all different parts of our body. And then we have, you know, kidney, pancreas, things that don't show. They're hidden, they're behind the scenes, but they're making everything run right, right? The brain, you can't see the brain. It's hidden, but it's a very important part. Without the brain, none of it works, right? So you might be a part of the body that is very visible and people see it and it's out there, and you have to use your gifts where people can see them. You might have gifts that are behind the scenes. Maybe you're talented at running the what do I want to call it? The board at church where they do all the magic to make the screen work, the technical stuff. Maybe you're gifted with technology and you understand how that stuff works. And that wouldn't be a real visible part. We know, well, I know at my church who does that, but not everybody probably does, because they're down in a booth, right? And they're running all that equipment and making the service seem seamless for all the thousands of people that are in the building. So you might have a job in the church that is behind the scenes, or you might have one that's very visible, like the pastor and his wife. Their jobs are their gifts are being used very visibly, but there are all sorts of things needed, and all the parts of the body are needed and necessary. So whatever your gift is, if you're not currently using it in the church, that's first and foremost. I would encourage you to use it in the church. You need to get plugged in and find your place. You're at that church for a reason. God put you at whatever church you're at on purpose, and there's a job for you there. He has work for you to do. So you need to get plugged in And then also in your world, in your ministry field are the people that you encounter on a day-to-day basis. Could be your family, could be people at work, could be people on the highway, or like I take a walk every day, so it's people on my walk. I see the same people twice a week when I nanny. I see the same people on my walk. There's a lady that walks her 2 dogs, kind of they walk her all the time. She's always kind of half jogging, half walking, and they're pulling her along. There's a couple. He rides his bike and she walks, and she's got the dog, and he rides his bike really slowly. I don't know how he balances that thing really slowly beside them. He rides his bike. But there's the same people. There's the mother with the stroller that's out. And so that's my mission field. Those folks that I see and say hello to every day, that's my mission field. So whoever it is that you see and encounter every day, that is your mission field. And when I said on the highway, that's a mission field too, because how many ungrateful drivers are there? How many people on the highway are only thinking about themselves and where they need to be and what lane they want to be in and how quickly they want to arrive where they're going? And that can be, at least in Arizona, it can be really a lot to be on the highway. So think about what your mission field is. Think about what your gifts are. Maybe you have the gift of prayer. Maybe you're a prayer warrior. You can pray for those other drivers, pray for safety, pray for salvation, pray for their homes, their marriages, their kids. There's so many things you can pray for while you're on that highway. And if it's patience, maybe you can show patience and show someone else patience so that they see that patience and maybe they'll want to emulate that. And so whatever your gift is and whatever your mission field is, I encourage you this week to use it. And if you don't mind making a comment, make a comment on this video and let me know. First of all, say hi, let me know you watched it. But also let me know what your spiritual gift is if you know. And if you don't know, ask me to send you the test, and I will send you an online spiritual gifts test that you can take so that you can figure out what your spiritual gift is. I've taken one many times. It changes over the years sometimes, but mostly stays the same. But I have had a few changes over the years. And it's fun. It's fun to take it and go, yeah, I see that in myself. So do that if you wouldn't mind, and I would really appreciate it. And then I don't know what you guys are doing for Thanksgiving or for Christmas or how you celebrate, or if you celebrate. If you're not in the USA, you probably don't celebrate Thanksgiving. That is something we do here. But what do you do getting ready for Christmas? What do you do? How do you show gratefulness to God? How do you show gratefulness to others? And how do you count your blessings? What are some of your traditions? I would love to hear about it. So drop me a comment, shoot me an email, whatever you want to do, let me know. I would love to hear from you. And until next time, I'm Jennifer J, and this is Jaywalking, Trusting God One Step at a Time. Bye-bye.